I don't know about you tonight, but somebody may be crying, but I come to let you know that God can make it all right. Ooh, yes. Be encouraged. Oh, it will. Yeah, yeah. Ooh. I know right now it's impossible to see, but God is gonna work it out if you just believe. Remember this one thing while you're going through. If God delivered Daniel, guess what? He'll do the same for you. Hey, no matter what's going on, said it in His word. Oh, be encouraged. No matter what's going on, that's what He said. That's what He said. He told me. Hold on. Trouble don't last always. These trials are just a test. These trials, just a test of your faith. So stand strong, and dry your weeping eyes. 'Cause joy comes in the morning, and everything is gonna be all right. That's what He said. That's what He told me. He told me. Oh, you gotta be encouraged.
Hi, everybody. Welcome to Tea Time with Bunky. On this special night, see my background, it's my Uncle Chuck. Today would have been his 66th birthday, so happy birthday to him. He was killed when he was 23 years old. So just to think that he would be 66 today is kind of crazy. But happy birthday to him. I want to thank all of my Tea Time with Bunky followers and subscribers. I want to thank all of those that have told a friend, and everybody has been allowing Tea Time to grow. Thank you for all of your support, verbal support via messages or whatever. I appreciate you. My TikTok followers, Funky Bunk TikTok, if you want to go laugh. My support in the studio with the Rec Boys, Shad and Chris, they always looking out for me. So I would like to thank you all and continue to keep sharing. I appreciate the ideas and the thoughts. If somebody has something inspirational or whatever, they have a story they want to tell, reach out to me and we can go from there. Not everything is guaranteed, but pray on it, trust the Lord, and we'll go from there. Tonight's guest is Miss Sheronda Davis. She was brought to me by somebody very special, and when I say I didn't know that I was going to need her show today, let me get this out of here. Yeah, I needed her show today. She is the founder of the Be Encouraged Empowerment Movement, which we will talk about. Miss Sheronda, a little background on her. She's a minister, author, an entrepreneur. She's a motivational speaker and the beekeeper, which I want to talk about, of the Be Encouraged Empowerment Movement, which was launched in 2017. She has a bachelor's degree in theology and is a licensed minister of Greater New Bethel Sounds of Praise. Um, she's a mom of one son and two beautiful granddaughters. I can relate to that, but just add two. As the beekeeper of the Be Encouraged Empowerment Movement, it is Sheronda's assignment, honor, and privilege to cultivate an atmosphere of people's minds to produce. Sheronda has a passion to help others embrace their value, purpose, and strength, and her desire is to help others overcome their past, see beyond their present, and reach beyond their future. So, without further ado, here is Miss Sheronda Davis. Hi, wait, let me get this. Wait. Be encouraged, speaker. There we go. Hi, ma'am. How are you?
Hey, how you doing?
And I want to thank you so much. Thank you so much for joining me tonight and
No,
having several conversations with me.
no, thank
Actually,
you. You've been a
thank
blessing to me more than you realize.
really is God. Your
Yeah,
book.
yeah, been.
For those that don't know, it's up in the corner. I have it on the bottom. You can purchase this book, Be Encouraged, on Amazon. It's Moments of Motivation.
Yes.
That's Moments of Motivation. Now, like I said, I want to know. Well, tell the people a little bit about you and how you got into this, first and foremost.
How I got into the move?
To
How I
be,
got
but
into the
you're a minister.
yes.
You're a minister. How long have you been a minister?
I've been a minister the same amount of time I wrote that book. I started out in 17. Yeah.
So
I've
it
been a
all
minister.
coincided. It all
Yeah,
worked together.
pretty much. I probably like a year before I wrote the book, I was a minister. Yeah.
You became a minister.
Yeah.
And for people that can't tell, she's located in the South. She is so Southern. I mean, she is so Southern. But I love it. You sound just like I love it. I love it. Now what is the Be Encouraged Empowerment Movement? What is that? What is it?
Well, you know what? Um, Let me start by saying this. It was before I came into ministry, I was talking to, and I got to make a correction. I've been doing ministry longer than that. It's been years. Um, but before I came into ministry, I was going back and forth, talking to my apostle, because ministry, you don't go into ministry. Ministry is comes to you.
Say that. Say
You
okay.
know,
Okay.
no matter how people could say it was easy for them, that was not an easy thing for me.
Mhm.
So I just told my apostle, I'm fine with being the daggone usher at the door. I'm
Being the
good.
doorkeeper. Right.
But
That's a
no,
powerful position. Being an
yeah,
usher is not easy for people that think it is. It's not easy. It's
it's
not.
not easy at all.
Right.
But as talking to him, I knew that there was a call on my life,
Hmm.
but I didn't want to accept it.
Hmm.
Then as I was talking to him, and this was the dream that set it in motion for me, I believe. I had a dream, and when I saw the dream was I saw a dead animal struggling in the middle of the road to live. Somebody it was a dog, hit the dog and kept
A
going. And it was
dog.
people standing, sitting on the edge of the road, and they got out their car and they was just looking at this animal struggling to live
Hmm.
in the road. And they were church folks, not being real. Some of
No,
them thinking I
hello.
speak,
Hello. That's
but
what it is. Right.
and as I'm looking at all of this take place, because I'm looking at everything take place, and I'm looking, and they left this animal in the road.
Hmm.
And when I looked again, I saw an old station wagon. It was an old station wagon just sitting there.
Hmm.
And I was like, well, and I'm looking at this animal, and my heart was just going out to this animal. And all I heard in my whole spirit was, go get my wounded, you know.
Oh wow.
That's what I heard in my spirit. Go get my wounded.
Mhm.
And I said, when it came to me, I said, I'll go. And I went to the station wagon and I went and I pulled out a bicycle from out the back of the station wagon and started traveling. The station wagon was facing forward. I started going in the opposite direction that the station wagon was going. And it was such a, a expression of urgency on my face and tears. That's how I knew that I had to step into something, not knowing that the ministry that I have was outside of the four walls. You know,
Right.
it
And
was
people think that. People
right,
think that if you're a minister, it just means ministering inside the church.
right.
But I've learned over the years and continually still learning that ministry is so much more than that. Because
Yes, it
you
is.
when you just see it in the church, you're keeping God in a box,
Right,
you know.
right.
So it's like, so I respect that. And I
Yeah.
respect your run. Because I heard from people that are ministers that, you keep running and running, and the more you run, God chase you. Like that's what
Oh
I
yeah.
heard. I heard that. Like,
Oh.
oh. So when you finally decided to give in and accept your calling, right? When you decide to give in and accept, what brought on the beekeeper? And it's BEE, like the bumblebee, the kind that sting you. What
Right.
brought
Um.
that on?
Actually, what brought it on was a issue that happened in my life,
Uh-huh.
and it was happening at the same time that the ministry call was happening.
Uh-huh.
And when I tell you I was going through this hardship of dealing with life and personal things, as far as not trying to get deep into me, but
Mhm. You can if you want. It's tea time and bunky. Not
well,
gossip, conversations.
I it was such heartbreak, and I knew I was trying to prepare for my initial sermon, but then
Mhm.
when I suffered a heartbreak that almost I wanted so bad, so I really almost wanted to take my life. You know,
Was this a relationship?
yeah,
Them
it,
relationships will mess
yeah,
you up. They really will. They
was
will.
kind of traumatic for me, and
Hmm.
it really messed with my head. And then
Right.
at the time of me coming through that situation, that's what I kept hearing:
Be
be encouraged,
encouraged.
be encouraged, be encouraged. And then I started doing little prototypes of shirts and stuff like, what do you want me to? What is this? And
Hmm.
it wasn't just what he was showing me was to be encouraged, like we always say. It was
Uh-huh.
him showing me BEE. And I was like, a bee? I said, what's the purpose of the bee? you
Yeah.
know,
Yeah.
I was like, what's the purpose of the bee? And he said, and as I, because you have to study stuff
Hmm.
too. It shows you, show you stuff. And
Absolutely.
what he was showing me was bees in the hive, they're always producing. They're always producing.
Hmm.
Always. You can't see it because
Right.
they're in the hive.
Ah,
You can't
love
see it.
it.
They're
Right.
always producing. And
Right.
each bee, as I learned this, each bee was born with a purpose. None of them swayed to do
Wow.
something different. Each one of them, they had their
Wow.
purpose.
Right. Right.
So this is what I learned from. That's how it came to be encouraged to live, because encourages, you got to live, exist, inspire, and
Hmm.
produce. That's where be encouraged came from. Um, because of the
Wow.
bees,
That
and
is.
bees go out in the environment and they take on all kind of atmosphere in order to get what they got to get from each flower. It ain't guaranteed they're gonna make it back, but they go and do what their purpose to do. They produce, they go and get it, and they bring it back to the hive,
Uh-huh.
and they produce it, and they produce it. And then what was started being shown to me was, what are they producing? What are bees producing? That's such a big deal. It's
That
a big
honey.
deal to us, but guess what? It's not a big deal to the bees. Honey is very valuable to us.
Yes. It has a lot of purposes, that
A
honey.
lot of purpose to it. So, we got to be
Wow.
able to,
Wow.
embrace our value, purpose, and know that we have the strength to do it. That's where being embrace your value, purpose, and your strength because it's in you. All of the elements in life that you take in, we sometimes allow it to either damage us or either, and this is what the movement is about. We're not going to allow that to say that's just how I am anymore because of what we've been through. What we're doing is saying we're going to live, exist, inspire, and produce. We're going to produce value. We're going to do that, because what we are taking in is of value to somebody else. Everything that we got has to be of value to somebody else because somebody needs it. There's too many people in the world for us, each and every person not to reach somebody, not to reach somebody.
That is so mind blowing. You don't
Look,
know how much you just totally blew my mind. You really don't, because like I'm a person who hate bugs. I don't like bugs. I don't go outside.
me either. I
If I don't mess around. I don't mess around. If a bee come near me, it is my goal and my
Right.
purpose to take him out. But
Right.
now, because with me, I look at him like, okay, it's me or you, survival of the fittest. I'm not trying to get stung, but and they say that bumblebees,
Yeah.
don't bother you unless you're messing with them.
Right.
Not like a wasp or something like
Right.
that. So
Right.
the BEE is just like you said, they out there just minding their business.
Right. Yep.
It's not their fault that I don't like bugs, right? So stay out of their environment, which is outside, right? Stay out of their way and they'll stay out of mine, and then we can coexist.
But and the thing about the bee is, think about it now. Now think about it. When you hear a bee, when you hear that sound,
That
what do you
buzz,
do? You don't even have to see it. Do you
no,
know it's a bee?
look,
You automatically know.
start swatting and
Right.
oh yeah, yes.
Right. You
Oh my
automatically know
God.
you dealing with there's a bee or something around. That's
Yeah.
why one of the things I talk about concerning bees is there's a sound.
Mhm.
There's a sound of encouragement. There's a sound. There's a sound. Because bees are very they
Yeah,
have a deep sound.
yeah. I mean, a bee does not sound like a mosquito or a fly. They have their own. They have their own sound. Which
Yep. You know.
wow, that's thank you for that.
Yep.
Wow, because I didn't think about it like that. People are work. God gives everybody a unique gift.
Yep.
We all have a job to do,
Yep.
and
Yep.
as long as everybody stay in their lane, stay where God put you.
Right.
Well, if they learn to, that's the thing. People gotta learn to mind your business, basically. If you stay where in your lane where God put you, and don't try to like your lane, you're a minister, right? You're a
Right.
minister, you're a motivational speaker,
Right.
you're an author, you're a woman. We have the same qualities, but my
Right.
qualities aren't yours and yours aren't mine. So I
Right.
can't jump up on your stage while you know the pulpit. If you preaching, I will look a hot mess because I'm trying to do your job, and that's not what God called me to do. I mean, like it sounds funny the way I put it. These are my bunky, but right. I mean, if you look
Right.
at it, because I have to break things down in a way so that I understand it.
Right.
Like that's the way
Exactly.
I get it. Like
Right.
that's crazy.
But
Oh, I love it.
think about how you got into doing what you do.
It was God and COVID.
But still, it something caused you to get into doing what you do. It's purpose for a reason.
Well, yeah, forget the podcasting, human services. Yes, it's a purpose.
Yeah.
It's a calling. It
Yep.
is because not everybody not everybody can work with people with intellectual disabilities and things like that and love it. See, not
Wow.
everybody can do that, you
That's
know.
right.
Um, so it's a calling. Like take out the podcast thing. Okay, I tell everybody God gave this to me when I had COVID. I tried to fight it because
See,
everybody that knew me or knows me know that this isn't me. I'm not,
but it's a ministry.
and that's when I went to my uncle's church. I went to his church and he had some kind of special service. So I went to his church and this elderly I don't know what her title is, but I see her all the time. You know, you see mothers all the time everywhere you go. You see this one particular mother. Okay, so I saw her and she doesn't know me. She doesn't. She just sees me. Has no idea who I am. She didn't even know that was my uncle, that I was just there because that's my uncle, blah, blah. So she comes up to me, and this when tea time just started. It just started. So she comes up to me, and I'm like, well, I just lady grabbing my hands. Like, oh, I don't like to be touched. COVID, we're not doing this. And so she's like, God showed me. When people say in the church, when they be like, God showed me, I'm like, I'm all ears, I'm listening. Because I know, because my grandmother said, well, God showed me, God showed you, I'm not arguing. You are going to touch so many people. He's going to open up a platform for you. And I'm looking at her. And she's like, and it's going to be out of the ordinary.
Right.
But you're going to reach so many people that would never have heard his word. And I'm looking at her.
Right.
Her not know. I don't even think she know how to work the internet. I'm be honest with you, I don't even
Right.
think she know. She probably got a flip phone. I don't even know. So it's like,
Like my mama.
so it's like, so she was like telling me how great this was. And I'm like looking at her.
Yep.
I'm like, I gotta go. it's time to go right now. But it is. This right
Yep.
here wasn't me. Do I like to talk when people know me? Yeah. Otherwise, I'm shy and I'm very reserved.
I don't like to talk either. I
But
really
you're a motivational speaker. So how
yeah.
did that come about? Like,
I because I love encouraging people is my
mhm,
heart. I love encouraging people, but I'm not a big talker.
uh-huh.
If I don't, I'm like you. If I don't really have too much to say, I don't really, I don't really talk. But I
Right.
know things could always be shifting, always moving, something to always think about. You know what I'm saying? But I don't
Mhm,
do a whole, I don't talk a whole lot.
mhm,
Not unless, like I'm saying, like if we cool, like we here talking now
mhm.
because it's a heart thing. This
Right.
is this is what it's about. But other than that, yeah, I'm not a big talker. I'm not. And I love to laugh and joke and have fun and clown with my
Uh-huh.
family and stuff and people who are really close to me.
Yes. But like a
But
stranger, like, no, I get it. I get it. And
yeah,
to be vulnerable too. To
right.
be vulnerable, that's hard with somebody that you don't know.
Yeah,
You know, um,
yeah,
now your book,
yeah,
I was telling you, I mean, because like I said, for people that don't know, it's called Moments of Motivation, Be Encouraged.
yes.
And I like I said, I didn't know, like I read it when I got it, I read it. I was like, oh, that's really good. But then situation arose. I was like, wait a minute, let me go. Because in the book, you always got scripture with it, which is what I love.
Uh-huh.
But the one, well, there was a bunch of them that got me. But it was one called It's Just a Hurdle. The
Yeah.
5S tighten up. That 5S for people that don't is sort, set in order, shine, standardize, and sustain. I said,
Mhm.
oh snap. And then the not discredited. And in the not discredited part, there's a part that says it's not about what you start with. Be encouraged by the favor of God on your life. People will often discredit you based on your current location in life.
Mhm.
And I said, Lord God, Lord. But like I said, there was just so much
That's
in
true.
here. Like
It's
but
true.
it is so true.
It's
It
true.
it is so true. And the thing about being encouraged, you hear it all the time. You have to encourage yourself.
Yeah.
there's so many times, but there wasn't a book about it where I had to encourage myself because that's how I was raised, you
That's
know.
the hardest thing for me,
Hmm.
encouraging myself.
But you
It's
wrote a
not,
whole
it's
book.
not, it's not easy. My book,
No,
it's
it's
not
not
easy.
easy.
It's not, we can always say, just encourage yourself. You have to encourage yourself. You have to encourage yourself. But that's a process.
It's a process. It
That's a
is.
process.
And you have to continually talk to yourself. You
Yeah.
have to. Because if you don't encourage yourself, especially if you're someone who doesn't talk to people a lot, right?
Right.
Um, so it's just between you and God. So you're
Right.
talking and you're trying to remind yourself that this too shall pass. This too
Right.
shall pass. Um, there's right here, the you got this part of your book. You got this.
Yeah. And
Don't it
I
says
like
don't allow negative thoughts to fill your mind about what you are purposed to do.
yeah.
Know that before you were even formed in the womb, you had a purpose. And anything you are set to do, know that just like that last thing you conquered, you will conquer this. Be easy on yourself. I said,
But I wrote that book and had to go back in life and deal with a whole lot of stuff. Just not to. I told you were a blessing to me because I came to a crossroads. I had to make a decision. I mean, I was at a very low point to the place. I was diagnosed with PTSD and anxiety from what I was going through,
mhm,
and I lost all thought of encouragement. I was out of it. I was
mhm,
out. I was gone. And sometimes, you know, at one point in time, I just kept calling on this one pastor, and I just kept telling him, "Please pray for me." I sometimes all I could do was cry and say,
mhm.
"Please pray for me. Please pray for me," even though I was in the situation I was in. Because you know what? What the thing that came to me, and I know we don't have a lot of time, but the
Yes,
thing
we
that
do.
came,
We do.
the
That's
thing that came to me when I was in my situation was something biblical about. I was like, I don't know where I am right now, God.
mhm,
And I don't know how to come out. And this is real talk for a
right.
lot of people. I don't know how to come out, and I don't know if I want to come out.
I get it.
That's the thing.
I get it.
And he brought to me David when David was
Oh,
in Ziklag,
okay.
a place called Ziklag. And David was in a place amongst people he had no business being around. Philistines, the enemies of his own people. But he did not mind being there, and he was ready to go up against his own people. And he stayed in that, he was
Mhm.
in that place. And then all of this stuff broke out, and he lost. When he went back home, we know the story. He lost everything was gone. Everything was gone. And the only thing David could do was say, God, what can I do? I'm paraphrasing. And
Right.
I say this a lot, which grabbed my attention. God never said, "Oh, now you want to talk to me. Oh, now you know me."
Oh,
He didn't say that.
no, he don't. He ain't.
He
Thank God
said,
he ain't like man.
okay,
Thank you, though. Thank you,
he
Lord.
said to David, "Pursue, overtake, and you shall surely recover all." That's what he told him. And that's exactly what David did. He didn't hold nothing against David, but imagine, and that's one of the things I'm grateful for when you reached out to me because
It
of
was
that,
God. It was God. That's how
because
that
of that.
works.
So obedience is the key too. That when I was at that crossroad and I made this decision and I said that's enough, and doors started opening up. You felt in that place how much of peace do you lose? And I know I'm talking to somebody who
Oh yeah,
knows
yeah, yeah.
exactly what I'm talking. You lose the place of your right mind.
Right.
You lose the place of knowing exactly who you are. You be in your brain fog. You know, you just in a place, you lose so much. You lost it all.
Right.
Then to be able to know that God says to you, pursue it, go get it back, overtake, run it down, and recover all. And if you're biblically sound with the word says that when you do your enemy like that and you win against your enemy, you take the spoils from that thing. So whatever the enemy got, listen, I can take that too. So that's where I am, and I'm grateful for you, and I'm grateful to God for you, because if it had not been for you in your position, because it took something for you to get to where you are right now. You know what I'm saying?
Obedience. It's
Yeah.
obedience.
But
It
you
was
had to
like, all
do
right,
something.
Lord, I'm tired. I hear you, Lord. I hear you. I hear you. Um,
Right.
that's what, yeah, because
Right.
when God calls you to do something, and I'm like somebody that always moving around, moving around, moving around. And I had to get COVID and be laid out and couldn't move, couldn't do nothing. He was like, all right, you want to play games? I got a trick for you.
You'll be
Boom. Now
fine.
I'm stuck, and all I could do was hear his voice. And I'm like going, mad. No, Lord, no, 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 I don't, no, 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 no. God gave
Exactly.
me he gave me the name. He gave me my original, because now you're in my over a year, but my original 40 guests, he gave me the names, the topics, and I'm going back and forth with the Lord. Nah, they won't come on the show.
See what I'm
No,
saying?
they
Like,
and it
really?
was like ask them. They will come. It's basically they will come. No, Lord, I don't know. Oh, that's not me. Like this, I really had this conversation in baby COVID, watching my O2 stats. This, this was what was going on. And that's why, when I do reach out to
Right.
people, I know, okay, God ordained the conversation. Because, like I said, I did not know I was going to need this conversation on this day, on
Right.
his birthday,
Right.
my uncle's
Right.
birthday. I did not know that the enemy was going to come up against me on this day. And I had to encourage myself. So you are a blessing to me. I'm glad God used me to help you,
Thank
but
you,
you
Jesus.
are a blessing to me. And it's like,
God
do
is
I
faithful.
want to cry? Yeah, but I'm not. But my tears are because God is so good. Like
He's
that's
faithful.
what it's about.
Yeah,
You know.
he's I had shame. I had so much shame I didn't even want to talk to God, because I didn't feel like I had the right to talk to God. And I know that I speak stuff that other people may understand. And that's the purpose of me doing what I do, because
Right.
I try to be as transparent as I can be.
Right.
Because even though it's God based, there are a lot of people who are not really in the church like
Right.
that needs to know, you know, the level of encouragement and the level of strength and the level of um, value that they have. You know, they
Hmm.
don't embrace it enough. And
Hmm.
I didn't embrace it. I didn't embrace my value. I didn't embrace my purpose. I
Hmm.
didn't embrace the strength that I had. It still takes a lot for me to know that I have these things, and it takes for people to put it in my ear a lot of times too. But it got to be the right people, because
Right.
when I went through what I went through, I was in a low place. Minister was not even. I didn't never even tag. I didn't tag it to myself,
Hmm.
because I was not that person.
Hmm.
I was outside of that. I was way outside of that.
Hmm.
Yeah, way
And
out.
And people say, that's a trick of the enemy or whatever. But I want people to understand too, because when we refer to being in the church, right? When we refer to being in the church, people have to understand that God uses any and everybody.
Yeah.
Your version of being in the church may not be my version of being in the church, may not be somebody else's version of being in the church.
Right.
People feel that because some people that are in the church, see, I put quotes in the church.
Yeah.
Some people will make you feel, now you're talking to someone who grew up in the church.
Right.
Every day of the week, I'm in church every day. Apostolic Pentecostal. So, that's hardcore. That's hardcore.
Whoa.
So you have people feeding into you that if you don't walk a certain way, if you don't pray a certain way, if you don't do this like they said do this, God has no use for you.
Right.
He doesn't talk to you. Lord knows he don't want to hear nothing from you.
Right.
And that'll break a person too. God, that doesn't mean like the bees, that you weren't born and designed and created with a purpose.
That's right.
We all got a job to do.
Yep.
It's just about being obedient. And that people be like I'll say it's God's voice, you'll say it's God's voice, or we'll say it's instinct, or whatever that voice is inside of you that's saying. First of all, like my grandmother always told me, the voice of the Lord, he'll never tell you to do nothing wrong.
Exactly.
So if you have something in you that's good, just you're not going crazy. Just do it. It's like whatever you want to think that it is.
Okay.
He will never, ever steer you wrong.
No, he won't. It's us. You be like, okay, yeah.
We sabotage our own selves. We do. We
be doing some jacked up stuff.
We a mess. We a mess.
And then be like, God, what happened? Why did this happen to me?
He'll be like, didn't I give you the blueprint and even tell you how to do it, and you still couldn't follow directions? That's like me with the GPS. I get lost on the GPS. So it's like,
I'd be like, oh, I should have turned right there.
Yeah, it's like you have you have it on the phone telling you, okay, turn now. I have it, and that's why I wear my Apple Watch all the time, because if I'm driving, the watch will vibrate when it's time to turn. So the phone will be telling me, okay, it's time to turn. I'll be like, I don't think that's the turn.
Why we don't listen? Why we don't listen?
Just don't. Hard-headed and stiff-necked, as they used to say back in.
You brought up a good point. He been giving us to us in so many ways. You had the watch, you got the phones,
and still missed the turn. Still missed the turn. It's so.
What just happened right here? Right.
So that's crazy. That's but yeah. So following, listening to the voice of the Lord. And as far as your speaking, the motivational speaker part of you, right? Like, where do you go with that? Like, how do people get in touch with you to do that? Is it ministering or is it speaking? Like what?
No, it's speaking, because I just recently redid, Tanya, if you listening, put up my new Gmail account, because I had to revamp everything.
Oh, I can put it up too. I can create it.
Encourage B, at gmail.com. I had to revamp every part of Be Encouraged, because I put it down. Because of where I chose to be in Zigzag. I put it down, So now I'm picking it back up, and all of this stuff is rushing in, and I'm like, it's like, do this. I'm like, okay.
So that's how people reach out to you, through that email.
Reach out to me through that email, and I'm getting back on the platform, because speaking and encouraging people is what I love to do.
And you're relatable.
Yeah, I try to be. because you don't have experiences for no reason.
Ain't that the truth? Oh
You don't
God.
have experiences. I was just talking when I talked about the outside experiences. Everything that I took in, I went through trauma. I've been through a friend of mine. I went through being partial intake, group therapy because of everything that I've been through. So I see, and therapy helps people. I'm telling you,
Therapy. Look, I talk about it all the time.
therapy helps people.
I am pro therapy. That's what I was going to school for my master's and for clinical mental health counseling.
Right,
Christian on the Christian side, faith
right,
based. Mine was I got to get back into it because it was
right,
faith based. Everything I had, because I'm like there aren't women that look like us in
right,
that field that will put the faith with it. Because
right, right. Thank you, Tanya. Um, and people don't realize even people in the church have trauma.
oh my
and
God,
and the
yeah,
thing about that is my therapist had to help me understand that what has happened to me is I've had so much trauma from life and relationships from growing up. So it's like an iceberg. It's called an iceberg of trauma. So all you can
the
see is the
tip,
tip of the iceberg, but you don't see the whole iceberg
yeah,
that's underneath that you still have to rid yourself of. And when I went through what I went through, it was the two toxic situations that I've been through that was the tip of the iceberg. That was it, and I couldn't take no more. I was, I was, I was out of it.
and people
But
wonder why we bug out.
right,
Especially they be like, "Oh well, this is what kills me." Oh well, you in the church, just leave that to God. God, God can do all things. Absolutely. That
he can
look,
do all things.
it,
That's why he put the therapist stuff in people's head.
that's why they are here for you to talk about it.
Right,
Because you got to talk about it so you can start learning how to obtain the tools
right,
so that you can
exactly.
start healing
Healing.
to be
Right,
a better person
right.
for yourself, not for
For your-
anybody else. You have to heal
Exactly.
from those childhood traumas, those adult traumas, any trauma you have to heal.
You
Don't
have.
just try to sugarcoat it. And that's what, especially people from our community, we do that. We sugarcoat it. Just, oh well, that was in the past. Leave it alone. Don't talk about it. Leave it.
Yep.
No, you better talk about that thing. Better
Make
talk about it.
excuses for it. That's just how I am. That's just what
Yeah,
it is. It is what it is. That's just me. That's
yeah,
no,
yeah.
that's not it.
You know how many people have gotten so mad at me now because people will be like, well, that's just how they are. Well, you know what? That's not good enough. It's not okay. I am 52 years old. You will not talk to me like I'm 12.
Okay. Okay. I'm 52 too. I agree. I
Like,
agree.
no, like we're
That
not doing this. No,
we not
no,
right.
no, 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 no. And yeah,
Right.
well, that's just how I am. Well, then you need to grow up and you need therapy so you can learn how to heal and deal with them demons.
And,
So
and people don't want to receive that they need therapy. People don't
right,
believe that they need it. They don't believe they need to heal.
right,
And it's okay if they don't. But
right,
it's as for me,
right.
I'm gonna get what I need to get. And every bit that I went through, it was a down moment for a little while. But now I just keep praying. My thoughts now is God, let me take every bit of nutrients for every bit of everything that I went through. Take all of that good stuff in, leave out the hard stuff. You still gotta understand the hard stuff. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? But take it in to produce something good, not just for me,
For
but for
somebody else.
somebody else. Because what you endured, now you can have empathy, not
Exactly.
just sympathize. You have
Right.
empathy.
Right. And a lot of people don't understand the difference. A lot of people have no clue what the difference is.
Right.
So that's crazy. And with that, the hurt that you go through, like I've learned over all these years, some people be like, "You're not old." Yeah, I'm 52. Hello, I'm more gone than I am here now. I've been here 52 years. But it's like that's a crazy way to look at it. But hello, it is what it is.
I feel like I'm over the line.
it can either go two ways. Hurt
Yep.
people can either hurt people
Right.
or hurt
Or-
people can help people.
Right. Exactly.
And I'd rather help
And I choose
people.
to help people.
Exactly.
I
You
choose to help.
know. So see, we are kindred. See, this was ordained.
Right.
This was or Steph implemented it. She
Yes.
set it up, but it was like ordained
I
for
love Stephanie.
yeah,
Stephanie is a go-getter.
I love her
That
so much.
chick.
She sounds just like you. She's so I'm like Steph. You don't sound like you grew up with me. You sound like you straight from the south somewhere. She's a hot mess. I'm like, oh my god. She sounds just like y'all. She
Oh,
really do.
gosh.
She do. Now back to your book,
Yes,
right?
ma'am.
Was there when did you decide to write it? Was it like gradual, like little taking little notes here and there and then decided to put it together? Or was it like you sat down and God just gave it to you at one time? Like how did
It,
that work?
it was already together because I write. I used to journal. Now you hear me, right? I used to journal all the time, and prayerfully I'll get back to it.
I'm a
But I
journaler. I'm a journaler. I
but
journal in color. I journal in color.
but everything that is in that book, I was saying when I wrote it, I was thinking God giving me revelation about a situation. But what was happening was he was changing my perspective about things. And I didn't realize that he was changing my perspective on how I looked at stuff so negative and turn it around to something more positive,
Oh,
you
you were
know.
a glass half empty person instead of half full.
No, like I was staying with my mom when I was journaling and all of that. And then I just be looking in her yard because I'd be tired when I get home
Oh,
working
this
all
about the door. This about the door.
the door, everything, the grass, the deer, just about everything happened to my mom when I was staying at my mom's house, living
Yeah,
with her.
there was a section in there.
Look at that door like, dang, that door look a mess.
That's the reconstruction. I think that was the reconstruction.
Reconstruction was the house that I passed every day going to my mom's house. That house looked like it was tore down, but it was stood Hurricane Hugo and everything else. And that
That
house still
foundation.
standing,
The foundation.
standing today. I said, people will look at that house and say it ain't no good, but the foundation.
That foundation. Wow.
So one person to look at that house and say, nah, nada. Another person to look at that house and say, this got potential.
Yeah, like the
And that's how
foundation.
people can look at you. They'll look at you and say, nah, nada. But another person can look at you and this woman is a woman of strength.
Yeah.
This woman is a woman of power. She is something to be desired. It's about how it's seen. It's the foundation.
Right.
It's the
That's
foundation.
crazy. That
Yeah.
is I mean, I really want people to that's what it was called. It's a door. It's a door. It's a
Yeah.
door. Your mom's door. I really want people to get this book because it is like it's so relatable.
Yeah,
I
it is.
mean, like the way it's broken down and it's just so relatable. I know I'm probably gonna have to order another one by the time this is all done. I'm probably gonna have because it's probably gonna be one of my most read. Probably. It's probably because it's an easy read.
Yeah.
I love it easy. I don't like stuff too complicated. I don't
Me
like
either.
like it's too much going on. I
Right.
can't with that right there. But
I'm the same way.
but it's not. It's easy. The titles, the chapters. I mean, like when you read it, you be like, okay, I think I need to read this. Like up here, there's a section, watch those deer. There's deer everywhere I live. Them jokers, they don't care. They will jump out and tear your whole car up.
Right.
They get on my nerve. I can't stand it. But it's watch those,
Right.
it's like
Watch them ones
like,
that look like the innocent ones. tear up your heart.
Yeah. Te- Tear you all the way up. You know, like they come at you,
Yep,
wolves in sheep's clothing.
yep, they tear it up.
Wolves in sheep's clothing. Um, I, look, we got 10 minutes. Can you believe it? That's
Right.
that's it. We only got 10 minutes. Um, now,
Is one thing I love the book, and the one thing my sister encouraged me. I told you, I believe I told you this, that she did, which is blesses me. I think I gave away more books than I probably sold because I have a heart for people. But she just really blessed a whole lot of people by putting them in gift bags and just being a blessing to people, stuff like that. It's things like that.
is that Latanya?
Yes, she on there now,
Yeah,
Latanya.
that yeah. Just so that's how. Shout out to Latanya. Thank you for blessing everybody. Yeah, purchase on Amazon. That's where I got mine from, right on Amazon. And it came really quick too. It came really quick. It did. It did.
Yeah.
So
But
when you do your it just hit me when you do your motivational speaking, like when you have those sessions. I'm sure you're going in. You're being encouraged. Gear. I love the shirt. By the way, I love the shirt.
I
Um,
can't see it now. I
yeah,
got the
I'm telling you. Like all they gotta do is go follow you on Facebook,
shirt. That's
and
it.
they'll see the shirt, and you have merchandise and different things.
Yeah.
But you got me really looking at bees differently.
Yeah.
You really got me looking at bees differently, and I guess I'm a bee. I'm a bee. I
Yep.
still not rocking with them. They can still,
No,
I'm not
we
messing
good.
with them. Yeah, like no, 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 no. But the
Right.
way you broke it down and the way you explained it, um, do you have like interactive sessions when you have your motivational speaking, or do people ask you questions? Like, is it like an engagement type thing?
The speaking that I've done, I was able to speak, but I love interaction. I
Mhm.
love interaction because you never know what's on the heart and mind of people.
Right,
That's why
right.
I love interaction, and that will allow me to be more free
Mhm.
to open up and share something that might help somebody.
Right.
Tear down that either that iceberg or trauma, help see that they need help or reach
Uh-huh.
out, give somebody something positive, a different way of looking at a situation or seeing themselves. Because, you know, yeah. So I love interaction. I
Because
mean,
when people realize that's why I like tea time with Bunky. Like I've stressed with so many people because it's called tea time. It's not gossip. It's like
right,
tea because I love tea. You see, I got my tea. It's a conversation. It's a conversation. And I've learned that when you're talking and engaging with people,
right,
and being so old school, you come from that generation I do, where people don't tell their business. You don't, oh, that's personal.
right,
And when I say now I'm an open book, it blows my family's mind when they look at me now. I'm
right,
an open book because I don't feel like I'm telling my business. Like what to talk about and what not to talk
not,
about.
yeah,
But if I've gone through something
right,
and I'm watching you go through it,
right. I'm not gonna
and
hold it myself.
right, and I'm telling you, I know how you feel. You're looking at me like you have no clue. But once I tell you, look, let me
That's
tell
right,
you how I know how you feel.
right,
And then it totally helps that person because they're like, wow, if she went through that.
right.
And yeah, and I tell people all the time, girl, it wasn't me, it was nobody but God. I
Okay,
went through that to help you or whoever else.
okay.
That now I know why I went through those shenanigans,
Listen,
all that crazy for
whew,
what I thought was nothing.
right. Or to hurt me or
Right,
something. You like, okay, this wasn't just for nothing.
right.
I figured that out with a situation with a coworker, and that thing touched my heart so much. And talking about my son and things like that, it just to know that you can relate to people and be there for people and talk
Right,
about your from beginning to end and
right,
how you watch God do it.
right.
My heart goes out for people. I mean, I wanted to cry so much today because of somebody else's issue, because I know what they're dealing with.
Mhm.
That's how my empathy level is.
Ain't it
I
the
want
worst?
to cry.
I get that. I mean, it don't have to have nothing to do with me, and I'm crying like a fool. It don't got nothing to do with me.
Right,
Like, yeah, that's that
right,
empathetic. Everybody doesn't have that. That's a
right.
bless. It's a blessing and a curse.
And a
It's,
curse.
it's a blessing and a curse.
Yeah,
And also with the being encouraged part, what I thought about with this book, when you're going through those rough times and you're trying to encourage yourself, you're also you're also building your faith, because your faith is tested to the brim.
yeah,
I mean, your faith is about to go to the point where you're like, Lord, I'm just done. Like you know, you have no more faith. You have nothing. You feel, because that's a trick of
you
the
feel,
enemy.
yeah.
You
But
feel
God don't
because
need you.
yeah, God is faithful in
Yeah,
all things, in all, but you get so wrapped up in yourself. We're human. That's what we
okay.
do. That
Tell the
mind
truth.
just right. Tell the truth and shame the devil. Right?
You telling the truth.
We do. We get so wrapped up in our minds and we we get in our own way.
Right. Yep.
God is trying to talk to us, and He's
Yep.
sending us messages, and we're so wrapped up in
Yep.
our woes is me's.
Yep.
And our pit, and it's okay to have a pity party. Just don't dwell in it all day, every day. You
Because he
know,
ain't gonna let you stay there long. He be like,
no.
yeah, that's enough.
Okay, now I done cried. Now it's time to move on.
Right.
Okay, I cried. Now either one or two things are going to happen. I'm going to stay in this place of doom and gloom, or I'm going to be like, you know what, I'm over this. Now let's figure out a way to get out of it.
Okay. Right.
It's sink or
That's it.
swim. Like that's
Yeah. He be gonna tell you, okay, we got work to do. So
right,
I'm for you to get it together here now.
right,
Yeah.
right. Encouraging. Be
Yeah.
in,
That's what he told one of the prophet when he said, how long you gonna mourn Saul? That's what he said. That's what he said in the Old Testament. Okay, I'm gonna need for you. Come on now. How long you gonna mourn Saul?
so wait. So let me ask you, because I'm not a Bible scholar. Let me tell you, because I'm not even going to
Because
tell that story.
Saul was not doing right. It's been
So
a
he
long
was mourning and not moving. Basically, he was
right.
just
Just
stuck.
constantly, yeah. So
Oh,
he's okay. So yeah, that's enough. Let's more or less. This is my words.
right, right,
God, it instruct me when I'm wrong, but you
right.
know, he was like, okay, let's go. Like just like that pity party you said. He ain't gonna do pity party long.
Right, yeah, and I'm like that too.
That's
I'm
what it
like,
was.
come on.
Samuel. Thank you. D said Samuel. That's what he said.
Yeah, I don't. I'll tell people all the time. I'm not coming to your pity party. Do not invite me, because that's something I'm not gonna do. I'll sit there with you for a few minutes, but if you want to stay at this pit, no, I'm not pulling up a seat to your table. And this
Listen,
is just what we're not gonna do. We're
I
not
had
gonna.
a time coming out of that. I ain't gonna lie, but I'm out.
But no, yeah, I mean, but when you're in it, and I mean, look, I've been there. I've been in that place of no return. Or I thought of no. I've been there.
Yeah,
I have been to the edge more than once. I have. You wouldn't know it talking to me, but I
yeah,
have, and I know, like, that's my testimony. So when I tell people, look, I know what that depression looks like.
right,
I know the difference between being sad
right,
and being depressed.
right,
And people be like, "Oh, well, that ain't God." Well, you know what? Stop telling me how I feel. Look, so I get it.
right,
And then it, like, people like, "Wow, you really do get it." When I
yeah,
tell them my story, like,
right.
yeah, I get it. I get it.
And that's what the movement is about.
Yep.
Letting them know I get it. And
Right.
you're not in this thing by yourself. I
Right.
have a mantra that says, wherever you are, be okay with it. And it's not saying be okay and stay stuck. It's
Right.
saying get what you need, get the nutrients from that situation, get what you got to get so you can get the strength, understand it so it don't hold you captive or bound, and keep moving to the next thing, because we still going to have to endure some stuff.
Oh
I
yes.
dropped my mantra and I'm picking it back up. So,
Love it.
and I say that to other people. That's what the movement is about. That's what we're doing. We're embracing our value, purpose, and strength. That's what we're doing.
Well, I love it. And I enjoyed everything about this conversation
Me
tonight.
too.
I did. I was nervous. And like I told, and look, it's 8 o'clock. And like I told you
Right.
yesterday, I said, and I never do this. I was like, I don't have a conversation flow. For some reason, God we just gonna flow with this. And I
Okay.
never have a guide, especially from someone I don't, know. I
Right.
never have a guide. But when God said, trust me, I'm just at that point now in my life. I'm like, all right, Lord, I trust. Whatever.
That's
And
it.
this was a powerful conversation.
I loved it. I
I
loved
loved every minute of it. And I
it.
love and appreciate you. And I'm so glad
Right
you're
back
in
at
that place again.
right back at
So glad. And we're gonna be tight. We're gonna be tight. Look, just reach out whenever you're feeling down. Like, I'll make you laugh. Ask Steph. I'll
Okay.
make you laugh.
Most definitely. Most definitely. I
All
always
right.
look for strength for people to. I need encouragement too. Pour back into me.
Yeah. And look, and yeah, I love having a minister to not even just a minister, but
Right.
someone who can relate to me. I don't do all of that. Like, don't preach to me. I don't like
Yeah.
people preaching to me.
Yeah.
Don't preach to me. But when you can have a conversation with me, I love it. And that's what this totally was.
Yeah.
It was amazing. Amazing. So we're going to end this segment.
Thank you for the time. Thank you
Thank
for.
you. Make sure you share.
Thank
Tell
you.
people about it. Next week, my show is on a Wednesday instead of a Thursday. I have Miss Abigail Kaufman on. Her brother. I love her brother. He was one of the individuals I took care of. He has IDD, which is he's intellectually disability, what people used to call mental retardation.
Oh wow.
So growing up being a sibling,
Okay.
like, what is that like? Like,
Right.
people like me who work in the field, we know, we meet the families or whatever. Sometimes we get an attachment to the families, sometimes
Right.
we don't. But what is it like being a sibling to someone who has a disability? And you're like, are you in the shadow? Like, how? And I'm so looking forward to her. She's a wonderful woman. She's what I love. Like I said, I love her brother. I love him. And it's a totally different conversation. Tea time and Bunky, we talk about everything. We talk
Oh,
about
okay.
everything.
That's
So
right.
yeah, it's
I love. I love
any and
it.
everything we talk about it. So yes, so you guys tune in next Wednesday. It's next Wednesday at 6 p.m. versus Thursday at 7 p.m.
Oh
And you guys follow Miss Sheronda K. Davis on Facebook
yes.
and email her at encourageb@gmail for
Yes.
speaking engagements. And on your page, I guess they can ask you about your merchandise. I'm
Yeah.
gonna end up getting a shirt because I love that. I
I'm
love that
picking that
shirt.
back up too. So, I'm looking and expanding and just doing new things. So
Okay.
I'm
All
just
right.
moving by what God say to do right now.
Right.
But
And listen to his voice.
yeah,
Listen to
yeah.
it.
So
All
pray for
right.
me.
Absolutely. And you pray for me. Lord, we all need it. We all need it. It was, it was wonderful. You guys have a fabulous night. Make sure if you missed it or if you're catching the intel, you can always rewatch it. And you can
Right.
also, if you know someone that doesn't have Facebook, you can view it on YouTube. Tea Time with Bunky. See, I got my new look. You can't see it, my new logo in the background. Which was gifted to me. I didn't
Awesome.
ask for it. I didn't
Awesome.
ask for it.
I
And
love it.
I
I love
got it and I almost fell off the chair because I'm like, oh my God, this captures me.
it. Yeah,
Look at God. God,
I love
God
it.
will do it. See, when God is in it, can't no man tear it apart. That's just what it is. That's
That part
just what
right
it
there.
is. I
That's
love it.
the part.
Well, I'm gonna end this now so we could go. We can go.
Okay.
I'm gonna talk to you guys later. Good night
Okay.
now.